You do not care about fat people's health. Stop fucking pretending like you do, okay? Because if you actually cared, then you would do research. You would learn about fat phobia, learn about colonization, learn about the history of why fatness is demonized in our culture.
You wanna know what's fat phobic? Jeans. Why do you give me so much room for my butt when I don't even have an ass? But you don't give me any room for my kabuchi, my front butt, the place where my ass really is, right here. It should not be this hard to put on jeans. It's fake. Fat phobia confirmed.
I just realized that the reason why I don't want to try new things is because I'm fat phobic. And what I mean by that is that I literally don't want to try new things because I feel like I'm going to look stupid because I'm fat. I feel like people are going to laugh at me, and I feel like they wouldn't laugh at me if I was thin. So that's why I don't want to do things, which is fat phobic. I'm just being fat phobic. So I should try things and do new things, even if I think people are going to laugh at me and I think it's going to look weird. So that's today's lesson.
Right, but we shouldn't rely on validation that we are thin enough either.
Who's relying on that?
Plenty of people.
Do you realize 74% of the country is overweight or obese?
All right, pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
I'm curious about what your definition of body positivity is, because you're talking about shame and you're talking about personal feelings and emotion, and I have a little bit different of a definition of body positivity.
Some of yours.
So when I think about the body positivity movement, I actually think about its roots in the fat rights movement, which is where I work.
In the 60s,
right?
yeah.
In the 60s, I run NAFA, which is a fat organization that was founded in the 60s.
About it.
And when I think about the folks who have been using that terminology since the 70s, 80s, 90s, not just the people who kind of popped up using it on Instagram and Tumblr in the 2000s, but that it has this long, long history. Mm-hmm. That long, long history is actually about body justice.
I know.
It's not just about individual feelings. It's not just about, my mother-in-law said something to me at dinner, or this guy didn't want to date me because I was fat. It's actually also about things like, do I have access to health care?
Black women, when we do the same diets as white women, we lose less weight and we lose it slower, even when we're following the diet, than our white women counterparts. And what public health practitioners think is that our stress responses in the body change our metabolism. It's literally that the racism that you're experiencing and the struggle to make ends meet actually means the diet don't work for you the same.
First of all, why is the crowd clapping for this? Even if what she said was true and white and black women on the same diet have differences in their weight loss, would racism truly be the reason you think that's happening? I'm really at a train station right now making this real because I had to respond to it. If we as a society don't start looking at issues in an objective lens, but instead keep looking at them through the lens of racism, we are never going to fix any of our problems. Stop playing the victim with this race stuff and fix the actual issue.
I've never realized that getting fat is actually a common disease. It is actually a bad thing in the society. So we want to talk about why in long time ago that white women were told not to get fat. And I want to be very specific that in this conversation, this isn't really about a white woman issue. And throughout history, you realize that women of almost every culture have faced this pressure regarding their appearance. However, in many Western societies, especially in the European and the Northern American, you realize that thinness became strongly associated with beauty, status, and youth, and let's say the self-discipline, right? So I want you to watch this video and you will realize that how these fat women are experiencing in the dating society and in the community, how people view them, how people have perceptions about them. So let's dive into this and I'll come back here and explain much about this issue. Why being fat is forbidden in so many communities.
I think it's because everyone has told us we have to lose weight, that you are not good if you don't lose weight. If your friends are at a burger joint, you're the one getting the salad because you know you should refrain from the burger, even though we're at a burger place. Because
Why should you refrain from the burger?
Because that is what the world has told me, that I have to make the good, healthy choice. We don't know anybody health. I don't owe anybody my health.
Do you want to be healthy?
I am healthy. I'm healthy for me.
Even though it was clickbait and I knew it was it was designed to reel us all in, oh, it got me. Jillian Michaels went up against 20 body positivity activists. Clickbait is anything but very fucking interesting. I've been coaching women to lose weight for years now, and what I will say is that the difference between Jillian and the activists were very, very clear from the beginning. Whereas Jillian always backed up her points using science, facts, and health statistics, the activists used their personal experience and their feelings to back up theirs. Let's just get one thing straight, right? Obesity is bad. Body shaming is bad. Not being able to move, breathe, or walk because you carry too much excess body fat is bad. Living in fear of foods because of diet culture, over-exercising, and being obsessive with your scale weight is also bad. It is a pendulum swing of extremes, and a lot of women are always bouncing and swinging between those pendulum swings, and what we're actually trying to do is just find the healthy middle. That's what we've been trying to do for a long fucking time. I think the key thing about this conversation that no one seems to be mentioning is that body positivity and discussions around weight loss will always need context. We know body positivity is actively against body shaming. That's what it stands for. The thing is, every single woman has experienced body shaming, whether they're in a larger body or a smaller body. For some women, that pushes them to go to the gym 5 times a week, eat clean, improve the health markers, make it a lifestyle. But for other women, it leads them into the cycle of shame, disordered eating patterns, using food as a comfort or a way to soothe traumas. It can go either way. I could talk about this topic for days, but I'll just say the one thing that I think is so important. The best approach to weight loss and body positivity is an approach that considers both scientific health statistics and research with compassion at the same time. The reason why so many of these women who are body positive activists on this podcast have stood so strongly in their beliefs is because they have probably consumed years of toxic, highly extreme weight loss protocols that is always targeted towards women, and they've rebelled against it. I mean, who can fucking blame them? We've all seen it for years. But in the same breath, who can blame Jillian when we know enough about how damaging it can be to be overweight too? If we could just find that middle ground between backing things up with science to give the health information that we need for women, and then also knowing that there's some compassion in it and body shaming is not right, this is where we actually find people choosing to have healthier, happier bodies. I'll say it, the reason why we've never been able to find a happy medium is because society doesn't want us to. It wants us to go round in this cycle of hating our bodies, following new tactics, feeling the shame, joining new movements just to keep us separated, whilst we ignore the biggest fact. We need women to be both healthy in the mind and healthy in the body at the same fucking time.
My Roman Empire is being skinnier. No, but seriously, I've never lived a skinny day in my whole entire life. I was clocking into Jenny Craig meetings at age 10. I also had to walk on the treadmill every single day at like at least a speed of 3 and like an incline of 3. So yeah, as long as I can remember, there has never been a single day where I've not thought about being skinnier. So honestly, this might be more than a Roman Empire, but seriously, it is so crazy as women how much time we spend thinking about our bodies and starting at such a young age. There have been so many days where I felt guilty, where I feel like I should be doing more, because if I was doing more, then I'd be skinnier. There's so many times I put off dating because I felt like I can't date until I'm skinnier. There have been so many times where I've been a literal doormat because I was afraid to stand up for myself, because I felt like if I did stand up for myself and make someone mad, that gave them the opportunity to call me fat. That's so crazy to think about because it is a word. There's all the times where I didn't buy the outfit I wanted to buy or dress how I wanted to dress because I felt like I can't wear this until I'm skinnier. Also, all the times I would let guys treat me however they wanted because I felt like, well, at least they're attracted to me. So then there's all the times I would step on the scale and let the number set the tone for my whole entire day. I will say, as I've gotten older, these thoughts aren't as frequent. I think a lot of times people come on here and want to talk about like, oh, loving yourself and loving your body, and almost kind of make you feel like if you have any negative thoughts about yourself, then like you don't love yourself. But I kind of feel like when you love yourself, you're just like a little bit easier on yourself. For example, now I wear things that I literally never would have worn, maybe even like a year or two ago. So yeah, if you have or have had these types of thoughts, I feel ya. And let's start by trying to be a little bit easier on ourselves. Love ya. Bye.
You do not care about fat people's health. Stop fucking pretending like you do, okay? Because if you actually cared, then you would do research. You would learn about fat phobia, learn about colonization, learn about the history of why fatness is demonized in our culture. Look. Have you never seen the Statue of Fertility? Have you never seen works of art throughout history? Me and my fat ass are gonna be over here looking hot as fuck. And I'm healthier than you. That's what really bugs me, y'all. You don't know how healthy I am by looking at me. Period. End of story. Be gone.
Every day I wake up, I look in the mirror and I'm like, wow, you're absolutely gorgeous. And then I ask myself, why did you let yourself get fat? So if there's one piece of advice I could give every single girl in the world, men too, I guess, but don't get fat. Like seriously, whatever you're about to eat, question it. Question it. It is the worst thing I've ever done to myself. Mind you, I've been in this body for 30 years. I've always been overweight, but like every time I've lost the weight, I've gained it back. It's a mental thing, 100%. I know I'm trying to work on it. If you have any advice, actually, I would be very open to it because I'm struggling all the time to just like keep it off or just like stay consistent with my routines when I get into them. So anyways, that's nor here nor there. This video is literally just for you to look at me and realize how beautiful I am. Seriously. And if you think physically I'm beautiful, my personality is even more beautiful. But the one thing I cannot get a fucking hold of is this goddamn body, which I love because she lets me do everything and I'm blah, 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 blah. Okay, body positivity. But don't get fat.
Whatever you do, don't get fat. Do not get fat. I repeat, do not get fat. Listen to somebody that's actually experiencing it. If you ever like thinking, oh, why not? Just use my life as an example. I don't deserve anything because I'm fat, according to some people. I'm not supposed to be married to a man that loves me, and a good-looking man at that, because I'm fat. I don't deserve to have children because I'm fat. I should not be having a good career because I'm fat. I should not be clean or live an aesthetically pleasing lifestyle because I'm fat, according to you guys or some people. So I don't deserve nothing because I'm fat. And I think that it is to the point, oh my God. I stopped posting on me and my husband's Instagram, Shego and Lillian, because African American men were literally bullying me and my husband. Me for me being the way that I am and saying that, oh, you look like this, you look like that. Why are you with this man that's actually good looking? And bullying my husband, telling my husband, I know she put a knife to your head. I know that you're not really with her because you want to be with her. I know you're with her because of money. Mind you, my husband makes more than me. It is the craziest thing. So whatever you do not get fat.
Do people actually genuinely fear getting fat? I was watching this TikTok of this girl saying how her biggest fear is getting fat and like being big or whatever, and the comments just like, oh my God, like agreeing with her and just saying how they're also scared of being fat. And it's so interesting to me as someone who grew up fat and like was fat for majority of my life and like have gone through weight losses and gains and all this shit. Do people actually fear getting fat? Like, is this something you think about, and is this something that like is on your mind, like actually? Because it blows my mind to think that skinny people are always constantly thinking of like, oh, I never want to be fat. Like, is that why a lot of people are bullies and a lot of people are like so fat phobic and are so like mean to fat people because they're like, it's like their biggest fear, or like they're so afraid of it? Because that kind of makes a lot of sense now, because I just thought it was a thing of like just fat phobia, people just don't like the way they look, I guess. But like I think it comes from a root fear of becoming fat, or fear just like that happening to you, so you project that fear onto other people or onto fat people. I just had the biggest fucking epiphany.
We're girls who grow up overweight. Of course, we can't remember a single day where we haven't thought about our weight. We're girls who grow up overweight. Of course, we have people-pleasing tendencies because growing up, we were so afraid of anyone ever calling us fat that we just kind of like went with the flow of everything, always. We're girls who grow up overweight. Of course, if a guy doesn't like us, we automatically assume it has to do with our weight. We're girls who grow up overweight. Of course, we've been told multiple times that we have a pretty face or that we're gonna be really pretty whenever we lose the weight. This was literally said to me when I was in a weight loss program by someone else who was in the weight loss program with me. Like, girl, we're girls who grew up overweight. Of course we have never shared clothes with our friends. It's expensive out here. We're girls who grew up overweight. Of course we've done Weight Watchers and Jenny Craig as a teenager. We're girls who grew up overweight. Of course we were walking on the treadmill at age 10. Low-key think I have treadmill PTSD. We're girls who grew up overweight. Of course, whenever we participated in school sports, there was never a uniform that fit us. Literally, I was a cheerleader on the day that we went to pick up our uniforms. I just took one even though it didn't fit because I was so embarrassed. And then my mom contacted the company and bought me a skirt in my size, and we just never told anybody. We're girls who grew up overweight. Of course, Halloween stresses us out, never being able to find a costume that fit well. All right, I love you guys. Bye.
Today, let's talk about the trauma of growing up fat. I was a chubby kid growing up, and when you're young, everyone thinks it's so cute that you have these chubby cheeks, you have chubby arms, you have big legs, like, they love you because you're so cute. And then when you get older, they start to turn on you, and they shame you for being chubby. I was 8 years old and people were already telling me that I had to lose weight if I wanted to have a boyfriend, that I had to lose weight in order to find love. At 8 years old, you're already telling me that my life is determined by how my body looks, that my achievements, that whatever will happen to me is based on how thin I am. That is such a messed up way to grow up. I had very low self-esteem. I never saw myself as beautiful. I absolutely hated myself and my body. I had such a terrible relationship with food. My whole life, I was traumatized just because I was fat. People treated me differently. I hated family reunions because there was always going to be this tita who brings up, oh my god, you're so big now. You got so fat. Have you tried exercise? Have you tried this diet? And then when they see you eating, they're like, are you sure you're going to eat all that? Maybe skip the rice for now. Maybe don't eat all of that. And then when you don't eat, they're like, why are you not eating? Are you on a diet? You never win. You never win. Anyways, as the fat kid, I always thought I needed to be funny or I needed to be smart. I needed to be something. So I'm not just the fat kid. I'm the fat kid that's also smart. I'm the fat kid that's good at English. I'm the fat kid that's good at art, or like I'm funny. I had to have something else so that I'm just not labeled as that fat kid in class. So much of my life revolved around my weight. Like every breathing moment was focused on maybe if I do this, I'll lose weight. Maybe if I wear this, I'll hide the fat. Everything revolved around my body and what it looked like. I think that's one of the reasons why I felt so lost in life when I reached my early to mid 20s was because I never had a dream or goal. My only goal was to lose weight. My only dream was to be that skinny girl with white skin. That was my only dream. So when I actually got older and I'm like, well, what do you want to do with your life? I don't know. My only plan was to lose weight. That was it. Because that's what everyone around me kept on reminding me, that I'll only be happy if I lost weight. I'll only find love if I lost weight. I'll only be successful if I lost weight. I can only wear what I want to wear if I lost weight. So yeah, everything revolved around losing weight.
I hate that growing up fat makes you fucking scared of so much shit. Like, I vividly remember all the time hiding, having crushes on guys, hiding how I felt, hiding, not to the men. I was never gonna tell them. But, like, even to friends, even to people around me, like, just kind of thinking people are gonna think you're crazy. Like, oh, like, you're just, like, the big girl that has the crush. You're just the big girl that just feels, like, and no one really, like, cares, you know? Like, it's not necessarily feeling like people are going to say something. It's just, like, the underlying thinking of the judgment. Like, it's not necessarily I thought my friends and family and whatever was going to be like, oh, like, you're crazy, you think you have a chance. But it's like, I'm thinking that they're thinking about me looking crazy, which is psycho to be like that. But that's how I felt. That's how I felt my whole life growing up. It's just, like, feeling like I can't talk about men. I can't talk about my crushes. I can't talk because it's, like, seen weird or seen, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like,
my fatness doesn't devalue me.
Why?
So I'm an 8.
Why doesn't it?
Yeah,
Why
okay.
is it that your own
Ask her
assessment
and
of
then
your
tell her
looks
that her
has
perception's
nothing to do with how the external world perceives you? That's my
Because I
problem.
don't give a shit. You
Right,
decide.
because you don't care, so there's no
I
real
don't care
value
about-
judgment.
I don't care about other people's
how can
opinion
you-
of
how
me.
can
It's
you
not more
speak for
important
the
than the
rest
opinion
of
of
the
I hold of
world?
myself.
Yeah,
And
it
if you
is.
don't-
If there's a value judgment of how you would self-assess your own looks, the only possible conceivable metric I could even think of would be the perception of how other people view you for your value judgment
And
of
I
how
was in a
you
relationship
look.
for almost 8 years with someone who thought my
How would you-
body
how could he-
was
how could
the
you ever
most
come up with a
beautiful
metric?
thing he had
That's what I'm saying,
ever
you
seen.
decided.
I have been pursued by many men who think I am gorgeous and beautiful. That perception exists whether you have it or not.
Okay, so assume for a second, I can envision a world where you're the only human being who's inside of the
And
world.
guess what? I'll
And
never
if
be
you're
the only one who thinks
and
I'm
if
hot,
you're-
and I know that bugs the shit out of you,
if you're
dude.
the only human being who's inside of a world, I can perceive that I can come up with whatever metric I want for myself because I have nothing to compare it to. So if I have nothing to compare it to and I have nobody else's value judgment, then I can say I'm the most beautiful person who's ever lived, and that would be true. But if I have the value judgment of hundreds of millions of people to compare the standard to, and I know that I'm below that threshold and just decide that I'm above that threshold anyway,
I'm not the only
that's not
person who
based
makes
on
that
anything
decision.
objective. You're just making shit up.
No, I'm not, babe.
I'm gonna go ahead and jump on this bandwagon because everybody talking about appearance, and for some reason you basic hoes don't think that appearance matters. But I keep telling y'all over and over again that is taught behavior. Okay. This message is for y'all young women. Let me tell you something. If you are at a nice, decent size, if your waist is snatched, do not get fat. Okay? Being a BBW is not where it's at. Having body positivity is not where it is. Don't get fat. It is not in my opinion, and I'm a heavier woman, and I am trying my hardest to get this weight off. I'm waking up at 5 a.m. in the morning, going to the gym. For the most part, I done lost a lot of weight, and I feel amazing, but I want to lose about maybe 30 more pounds, okay? Do not get fat. I don't give a fuck I don't care what Lizzo telling y'all. Y'all looking at all this body positivity. Fuck body positivity. Keep that waist small, okay? A woman does not look good, in my opinion, when she's fat. The world will treat you like shit when you are fat. That's just the bottom line. You're not going to be able to obtain certain positions fat. You're not going to be able to have access to certain resources fat. Nobody's going to take you serious fat. Because the bitter reality is, when you look at a person that is morbidly obese and when you look at a person that's not put together, they automatically judge you. Okay? In their mind, you don't have any discipline. In their mind, you don't have any self-care. People don't want people around them like that. Especially extremely successful people that take pride in their appearance and take pride in whatever they're doing. They're not going to have your fat ass around. Do not get fat. Do not let these women online bamboozle y'all into thinking that it's cute. It is not cute. Okay? When you get older, it's going to be extremely hard for you to get that weight off. I am in my mid-30s, and I am telling you, it is one of the hardest things that I have ever had to do in my life. The older you get, the harder it is. If you are at a good size right now, stay where you at right now. Do not have these Negroes babies that is not going to marry you and fuck your body up. Don't do it. Stay small and stay fuck ninja free. Y'all got it, roll with.
I found out as a fact that if you are skinnier, you do get treated better.
This is 100% true, and thin people will try to gaslight you and say that you're making it up. I have been fat my entire life, ever since I was a child, throughout my teenage years, throughout my adult life. As a fat person, you are just used to the way that society treats you, but you don't understand how badly you are treated until you lose weight. Recently, I've lost 80 pounds, and suddenly the world treats me like a human being again. People actually look at me in the eye when I'm speaking to them. Men open doors for me. Men actually talk to me for the first time in my life. I get complimented on my outfits. When I go to the doctor, they actually address my concerns instead of just starting with my weight. When I go into a store to try on clothing, they actually talk to me and want to help me find a cute outfit. Seriously, retail stores for fat people are the 7 rings of hell. I've had more people want to be my friend in the last 6 months than I have in my entire life. The first time I tried to lose weight in 2019, I lost 50 pounds and suddenly everyone was so kind to me. But then I unfortunately gained 80 pounds back. And to go from someone who was loved and everyone was proud of them and complimented them all the time to someone who was disgusting and people couldn't even look at me anymore, it was very validating on how fat people are treated by society. And now losing 80 pounds again, I can tell you with 100% certainty that people are way kinder to you when you are thinner. Even if you don't mean to do it, you are more kind to people who are thin. Fat people are not seen as human beings. You see someone and you say, oh, that's a fat person. You don't say that's a person. Our fat phobia runs so deeply that we don't even realize that we're doing it. People make comments to me now about fat people when they don't realize that I used to be 80 pounds heavier, and it is absolutely disgusting. Fat people are systemically oppressed, not only in the medical system, but in society as a whole. Unfortunately, we will always choose the thinner person over the fatter person, because we see more worth in thinness than we do in fatness. If you ask any former fat person what their experience is, I bet you they will say the exact same thing that I'm saying right now. I have experienced both sides of the coin, and honestly, being fat is awful. And it's not because of how you feel, it's because of how society treats you. And then, not to mention, when you lose the weight, people don't want to be your friend anymore because you outshine them. You threaten them. Some women only want to be your friend because you make them look better. And that was a very sad reality that I had to learn. So please, if you don't think that this is true, talk to someone who used to be fat. Or listen to your fat friends right now. Fat people deserve everything that thin people already have. We should not have to fight for equality because of our body size. Do better.
Okay, because I'm starting to see that us as a society, we're kind of regressing when it comes to inclusivity, I'm going to rebring this up again for the billionth time. Did you know fat phobia is actually rooted in racism? Did you know that? Let's talk about it. In the 18th and 19th century, European settlers and European colonizers really tried to associate white bodies to thinness, purity, and self-control. Meanwhile, they were associating black bodies and indigenous bodies as excessive, out of control. They were trying to shame them. Sabrina Strings literally talks about how fatness got racialized. It was not about health. It was talking about how white, thin bodies were the beauty standard. And that's what they did. That's what they made it. That's why we talk about the BMI. The BMI scale is not reliable. The BMI scale was made based on a European white male body. Literally, white male body. Yet it's still used to shame people, shame black women, shame women of color, people of color, for a scale that's so outdated. It's not wise to assume that somebody is unhealthy because they're big. That's just being fatphobic. You can have a preference. That's so fine. If you like your body a certain way and you like people that have certain body types, that's fine. But when you start shaming other people and making them feel bad because they don't have a certain body type, that's where you cross the line. And that's where it can honestly tie to fat phobia and tie to racism. You're thinking these things out of an outdated ass theory, like an outdated ass thing. As a society, we need to learn how to love each other and love ourselves. Love each other and love ourselves, please. Because this cannot go and this cannot be.
White people's perception of size is so warped. And it's so strange because you will see the most mid-sized, regular, I guess skinny looking white girls, and they'll be like, I was bullied coming up for being fat. And I'm just like, bro. So let me give you an example. So when I was in high school, I went dress shopping in New Orleans. The first dress shop I went to was a black shop. It was black owned. The lady that was helping me was a black lady. I'll include some pictures of me in high school for reference. And the lady at the first dress shop was like, oh my goodness, you're so small at the waist. You're probably an 8, 10 or whatever. I think I ended up being a 12 because, formal dress shops, whatever. So then I go to this it's more of a white dress shop. And the lady comes up to me and she's like, oh, well, here's a size 24. And me and my mom are looking at her I'm not a 24. Which, there's nothing wrong with being a 24, but it's just what are you looking at that makes you feel like this dress is going to fit me? And she was like, well, just try it on. And it's just so strange. And it's just I just feel so bad for white women for having to fit into that beauty standard. But also, it just kind of makes me think, on you know, how white people perceive bigger people because of the standards that they have been held to coming up.
Next time you call a girl fat, just remember, you ain't never seen no broke fat girl. You ain't never seen no broke fluffy. It's money that is support we habit. And by habit, I mean eating. Right. And 9 times out of 10, we don't eat fucking cheap-ass fast food. We like eating real big meals. So before you call any girl fat, just know she get money. All right.
I am incredibly happy that people are now starting to wake up to the fact that white beauty standards are in fact rooted in pedophilia, because I'm seeing some videos of beautiful, beautiful women realizing, holy shit, Tate McRae's being called fat and so is Lola Tongue, and they're not fat because of what? White beauty standards. And I can say this because I've been every size in between. I've never been like a naturally thin person. I've always been built bigger. You can see that on my page and my fit checks and everything. But I'm very happy that people are starting to catch on, because I've been saying this for a while and the internet wanted to flame me for saying it. But you're never wrong. Or I guess I wasn't wrong, I was just early.
So this one time I was on a date with a guy and he was like, I can guess anyone's weight just by looking at them. And I was like, okay, so guess mine. And he was like, 150 pounds. So confident. And I was like, what do you think? I'm 9? Like, actually guess it. And he was like, 160. And I was like, higher, brother. And he was like, 170. And I was like, isn't this literally supposed to be one of your talents? Like, you're awful at this. And I could see him like getting kind of freaked out because I definitely weighed more than him. Like, sorry, I brought it up. I don't want to talk about this anymore. And I was like, oh, you don't. Wait. Anyways, when I called my friend, I was kind of rattled and upset by the whole thing. And she goes, Kate, you are juicy. Lean into it. And I said, whoa. Like, I literally think Socrates said that same thing.
So last night I found out as a fact that if you are skinnier, you do get treated better. And that society, particularly men, are fat phobic AF. So let me set the scene. Me, a curvy size 14, 16 girl, quite short, bit chubby, but hey ho. And my friend, taller, very, very much slimmer, gorgeous blonde gal, and out for some cocktails. And then we headed down to the town centre. And as we were heading down the town centre, I noticed the phone on the floor. I picked it up, being a nice person, saw some boys up ahead who were play fighting, clearly had a couple too many beverages. I said to my friend, hey, that must be one of their phones. I'll go and ask if it's their phone. Obviously putting myself in a bit of like a predicament, having to speak to a group of boys when they're clearly drunk, but I'm trying to be a nice person, so I did it anyway. I'm like, hey boys, is this any of your phones? One person out of the group turned around, whatever, and he was like, oh, that's not my phone. Maybe it's one of my mates. I don't know. I'm really sorry, but I can't give it to you unless I know for sure. He was like, boys, is this any of your phones? They were too busy play fighting, but one of the boys did come over and he was just like hanging around and like kept giving me dirty looks. I'm gonna guess these boys were like uni age, like 20 something, like young 20s. Anyway, so the guy started phoning like different mates to see which phone it could be. And long story short, the boys from the rest of the group came over, snatched the phone at my hand, was like, that's my phone. My friend was like, excuse me, like she's doing you a favor, like what are you doing? Like, why are you snatching things out of her hand? That's so rude. And he said sorry to her, not me, even though it was me that the snatching had happened to. That's not the best part. I said sorry, he goes to fist pump me and I was like, cool bro. Which is sarcastic, yeah, but also you're annoying. And then the friend who'd been there, like hanging around giving me dirty looks out of nowhere, like, cool, bro, who do you think you are? Cool, bro. Bear in mind, this is all aimed at me. And me and my friend were like, what is going on? Like, this is so weird. So we started to walk off to be like, this is just honestly the strangest thing ever. It was also like, F off, F off. My friend turned around being like, that's so rude. Like, we've just done you a favor. She's tried to be nice and you're being so rude. But I didn't say anything to that. And then I turned around and was like, I just think that's just so disrespectful. And then he just was like, F off, who do you think you are talking to me? Who do you think you are? Do not talk to me. And I thought it was because maybe he was like from Chelsea or something. He had like a posh accent. So I was like, maybe he's like rich. He's got wearing loafers, I'm pretty sure, small, looked like a tool, had like an Australian hat thing on. I turned around and be like, look, you're not on Made Chelsea, like stop being so rude. Then he went, don't you dare speak to me, you overweight fuck, something along those lines. And I literally was like, I didn't say anything. My heart obviously was like, oh my God, but like, whatever. Friend was actually on that, was like, I can't believe that's just happened. Who says that? And she was like tearing up. And then my friend's obviously trying to back me up. But again, he aims the hate at me.
fact, his automatic reaction was to be so hateful and fat phobic towards me for literal no reason, just because of how I look, after me doing a nice thing. Obviously, this guy was very immature, but it also shows how much hate there is for people for having more body fat. Only so confusing and was so shocking to me. But karma's a bitch, and one day he'll get his comeuppance. Ideally, a good beer belly.
You know that trend where people are like, my 5 biggest horror stories? I just saw a girl do it, and her second fear was being fat, and everyone in the comments were just like, why are you afraid? You're already there. Fear achieved. Fear realized. And I mean, it's really mean, but at the same time, like, what did she expect? I went to her page, and she was probably like 5'3", 190, 200 pounds, but she was like thick as hell, though. Like, her thighs were thick as hell, her butt thick, very round breasts, like very well endowed woman, but like by no means skinny, even for our standards, because Black people, let's be honest, we're very generous about who's skinny. Like, you can be 140, and if you carry your weight really well, you're skinny. But like, she wasn't skinny, you know. She was thick, like not a bad looking body, nothing, like great body, like T, to be honest. But like, why are you saying you're skinny? Because now people want to humble you. People want to attack you and tell you, no, girl, you're not skinny. Like, what are you talking about? Like, please, and stuff like that. It's like you guys want to be disrespected. And she hasn't answered a single comment that I saw. And I think she probably just thinks it's funny. And she did it on purpose. And she's just, like, letting people throw stones at her. But, like, ooh, y'all be brave, because I wouldn't be letting nobody throw no stones at me like that, because, you know, everybody's just dogpiling and calling her everything but a child of God. Like, my comments would have been off. But it's funny at the same time. Like, I kind of get it, that why she did it, just to be funny.
Okay, this is really random, but nobody ever talks about how, like, humbling it is to be a chubby chub teen girl. And let me explain. Okay, so me and my friend, I'm gonna call her Emma, and me and Emma are walking out the theaters, right? And there's 2 boys who are walking, like, opposite from us. So, like, we're walking this way, they're walking that way, so we're gonna eventually cross paths in. So they're staring really hard, so they walk over, and they talk to Emma. And only Emma. They asked her for her name, like her snap, like asking her all these questions. Both of the boys. And not once throughout the whole entire combo did their eyes like gaze over to me. Like they didn't even acknowledge that I was in the combo. Like I was standing there. And then after like securing the snap, they walk away. And yeah, that's it. Just yeah. And people are gonna be like, you're just so jealous and you're just so envious and da. But it's not even like jealousy that I really possess. It's just like, it's just hurt. I'm just hurt. Like I'm hurt that I wasn't even acknowledged like in the combo. Like I wasn't even like acknowledged or looked at. Like they didn't look at me once. They didn't even like not once. I think at one point I questioned if I was even alive. Like I was definitely sure that I was Casper. Like you couldn't see me. Like I was not real. And y'all, when I tell you these boys did not look at me, they did not look at me. It was just really humbling. I needed to rant about how annoying it is, because this isn't the first time this happened. It happens numerous of times. It's just this time it felt extremely worse. And I know for a fact that I would never be approached because I am bigger. Like it's inevitable. I can't face it. It's canon. It has to happen. I can't avoid it. Fuck it, we ball.
I'd like to give an history about this issue. Like you find that for much of human history, being overweight wasn't always viewed negatively. In many times, when food was scarce, extreme body weight could signal wealth and security. Now things changed during the late 19th and let's say the 20th centuries, as you find that as food became more available and industrialized, industrialization created large middle class. Social standards shifted. Instead of wealth being shown through a body size, it became associated with self-control, fitness, and fashionable appearance. Hollywood amplified this trend, do you remember? From the 1920s, flappers to movie stars of 1950s, and even the supermodels of the 1980s and 1990s. Western beauty standards increasingly celebrated slimmer body types, right? So women were constantly told, You need to stay young, you need to stay attractive, you need to stay thin. Meanwhile, men were often judged more of on status, income, and let's say the success than the physical appearance. Now, this is what is affecting most of the women, even up to date. So let's talk about this. One thing that makes me laugh is how society pretends these beauty standards appeared out of nowhere. No, entire industries make billions of dollars from women's insecurities. Diet companies, weight loss programs, fashion brands, cosmetic procedures, social media influencers. And let's say the message is constantly repeated. If you gain weight, you are failing. And many women grow up hearing this message from family, friends, and marginalized, and let's say the movies, and now the social media. But here is the irony. The same society that tells women not to gain weight is often the same society selling oversized portions, junk food, and unhealthy lifestyle. It is just a contradiction between the companies, the society, and the women appearance. Then we have the social media, which also took things to another level. Like now, women aren't comparing themselves to their neighbors; they are comparing themselves to filtered. Do you understand? To filtered influencers, filtered celebrities, and maybe say the editors' photos, which are viewed by millions, right? So that pressure can become exhausting. And I want to give also advice to women, like you need to stay healthy for yourself, not because strangers on the internet have opinions, not because magazines say so, not because some influencers say your value depends on your waist size. Take care of yourself, take care of your body because it is the only one you will ever have. Exercise because it improves your health. Don't exercise because you heard from filtered influencer celebrities. And you also have to eat well because it improves your quality of life. Maintaining a healthy weight because it reduces health risk, right? But never confuse your body weight with your worth as a human being. Like a woman can be fit and still be unhappy. A woman can be thin and still lack confidence. A woman can be healthy and successful at many different sizes. So what are my closing thoughts is that the real lesson isn't don't get fat. The real lesson is don't neglect your health. Health, confidence, discipline, and self-respect matter far more than chasing impossible beauty standards created by industries that profit from insecurities, right? So a healthy woman who values herself will always be more attractive than someone living solely to satisfy the society's expectation. What we have heard from me and you have heard from the influencers and the people who also talked in this video. And I believe that you have gained something from the video. And I'm closing it by saying that why do you think white women were abolished from getting fat?